Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me for this week's Unlocking the Magic of Leadership. Now, this week we are going to be diving into galvanize your employees. Now, galvanizing your employees is all about how do you create a culture of respectful and professional accountability where individuals understand what is expected of them, what they can expect from their teams. There's no surprises. It is an environment of feedback, both positive and constructive. And when you walk up to somebody and say, hey, I have some feedback to give you, it's not out of the blue. So this week, looking at the galvanize your employees, I happened to be at a leadership training. And while I was there was a participant who shared about an experience that it was a bad day. They owned up to it. It was absolutely a bad day. But their question was, how long does that bad day have to last? How long are they held accountable for that one moment where it seems like everything that they do well is forgotten? Now that immediately brought me back to when I was at Disney, and y'all have heard the story of when I blew up my career in spectacular fashion. And about a year and a half later, I was having a conversation with my general manager and that got brought up again. I got frustrated and I asked him, I said, look, here's the deal. I'm okay paying my dues for my mistakes. I have no issues with that. I own the mistakes that I made while I was there. But how long am I going to pay for that? Like, are we talking about another year? Or are we talking about my entire career? It's never forgotten. How long is all of the positives that I'm currently doing going to be overshadowed by that one moment in time? And so that's what we're here to talk about today. As leaders, we tend to hold on to our employees' worst days. And we think about that when we're looking at lateral moves or promotions.
Well, you know that one time 5 years ago.
So my suggestion to you, instead of holding on to that employee's one bad day, think through how much good does it take to make up for that bad day? I know in hospitality, it didn't take long. I had a rule. If it didn't happen within the last 6 months, it's like it didn't happen. So that meant that when somebody was trying to recreate themselves, somebody was trying to outgrow bad habits or mistakes, they had the space and the ability to do so. There's nothing more frustrating than when you're trying to grow and develop and become a better version of you, and those that are around you won't let you. Thinking through the members that you have on your team, that's what we're going for. Is there anybody on your team that's been trying to overcome a bad moment in time? And maybe either intentionally or unintentionally, it's been difficult for them. Or when you go in to have conversations about this individual, is everybody else saying, oh, but you remember when? If we want our employees to be able to grow, we have to give them the space to do that and not hold their one bad moment over their head over all of the other good moments that they have. This is my challenge to you. Think what it would look like for your organization. Is it 6 months where whatever's happened in the last 6 months is the only thing that counts? Or is it a year and a half? What does that look like? Now, I also want to clarify, if this is something big and something major, or this is a pattern or a repetition, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that person that was going through a divorce, and because of that, they were late and missing a lot of work because of all of the legal meetings and everything that they had. Or I'm talking about that person that got into a position that was not a right fit. They recognized it, leadership recognized it, and they got moved back into a position that's a better fit. Or that person that just had a really bad day. This is what we're talking about. All right, so you have some homework. Go through and think, what is that time limit? And then start holding to it. Allow your employees the space to grow and make sure that you're being their champion behind closed doors when they can't be in the room. All right. I hope you enjoyed this week's message all about galvanizing your employees. Have an absolutely phenomenal week. And don't forget, as always, you got this. I'll see you next week.